guys, welcome back to Through the Screen. I'm Emily.
I'm Erika.
I'm Charlotte.
We hope you've been enjoying our episodes so far, liking, commenting, and sharing with your friends. If you missed any of them, head on over to our channel and watch, and if you're not already, be sure to subscribe while you're there. This week, we will be discussing a very important environmental issue that may soon become law, so we hope you'll follow us once again as we join together via Skype to bring you conversations through the screen.
This episode, we'll be discussing microbeads and why they're in process of being banned by July 2017. We'll also be bringing you the latest updates from Taiji and some great news for the state of California, a heartwarming story about 4 orphan baby possums that are growing stronger every day, discussing a quick poll from our Twitter about some surprising vegan snacks, and finally, sharing our thoughts on Season 23 premiere of Dancing with the Stars. First up, microbeads.
This week we will be discussing microbeads, what they are exactly, why they are being used, and which products contain it, as well as a list of companies that do and do not use microbeads in their products.
Microbeads are tiny particles often found in face washes and body scrubs, among other personal care products, and are essentially small pieces of plastic. As mentioned, you can find microbeads in scrubs as well as toothpaste, lip gloss, nail polish, and even anti-aging makeup. You'll know if the products you're using contain microbeads because they will have a very specific set of ingredients, which are explained in one article we will link below. So what's the deal with microbeads? Companies add these particles to their products as exfoliants or even just to add texture because they're cheaper to manufacture than natural exfoliants. But these plastic beads that you're swishing around in your mouth or rubbing onto your face aren't scientifically proven to do anything for you. Advertisements tell us that face washes containing microbeads can gently scrub dirt and oil from pores and cleanse our skin. However, the truth is that microbeads actually introduce harmful plastics into our rivers, lakes, and oceans, which can directly impact us as well as our ecosystem.
So, microbeads are non-biodegradable and smaller than a grain of sand. So when they wash down our drains, they don't get filtered out by water treatment plants and eventually end up in our waterways. It's estimated that 8 trillion microbeads are washed into streams and oceans every day. This is the equivalent to the surface area of about 300 tennis courts. And where do they go? Once in our water, the microbeads absorb pollutants like pesticides and motor oil and are often mistaken for food by aquatic creatures such as fish. As the non-biodegradable plastic in their system moves up the food chain, it eventually makes its way onto our plates, meaning that by eating the fish that consumed this plastic, we are also consuming it. In fact, 25% of fish sold in markets were found to have plastic in their stomachs. This plastic then in our systems can cause hormonal imbalances and other reproductive issues in the future, among other concerns. It is difficult to remove microbeads from waterways without harming marine animals, so as with most things, we humans need to change the way we buy and consume. Some companies have taken the initiative, but we still have a lot of work to do. In 2015, the Microbead Free Waters Act required companies not to sell or distribute products containing intentionally added microbeads less than 5 millimeters in size. Now there is a new law aiming to ban all microbeads from rinse-off cosmetics products, said to take effect after July of 2017.
As Erika and Emily already explained, microbeads are found in many common bath products, ranging from shampoos and body scrubs to oils and soaps. So it's not surprising that almost every major company in bathroom products contains microbeads. We plan to link 2 lists down below, one of the products and companies that contain microbeads and one of the products and companies that do not contain microbeads. So as always, we encourage you guys to take the no microbead challenge the next time you yourself find yourself looking at body scrubs and other common bath products.
So since the last time we've brought you updates from Taiji, we've seen almost all Blue Cove days. However, yesterday, which was September 16th, Japan time, we had 2 large pods driven into the cove, about 80 to 100 bottlenose dolphins and about 12 to 15 pilot whales. And these groups are still awaiting their fate in the cove. They were held overnight. So we will, of course, bring you updates on that next week, but please continue to watch the live streams and share this with everyone that you know. However, in more positive news, a couple episodes back we mentioned to you all that a bill that would effectively end captive orca breeding in California and prohibit their export out of North America was on the desk of Governor Jerry Brown. We're happy to report that he has signed the bill, making California the first state to ban captive orca breeding, with violator fines as much as $100,000. SeaWorld has already promised to phase out breeding in current shows, moving to a more natural show, but now they are legally bound to do so, and we couldn't be happier. We can only hope that more states follow this, eventually ending captivity once and for all. So, as always, be sure to share these updates with others, and please remember, don't buy a ticket.
This week's heartwarming story is about 4 opossums that were babies who are now safe after a heartbreaking beginning. The siblings were discovered in August, huddled around their mother's body, crying after she had been hit by a car. They had even tried to crawl back inside her lifeless pouch. Luckily, the babies only sustained a few scrapes but are otherwise healthy and were brought to the wildlife haven Waterloo in Ontario, Canada, where they were made their recovery. Rescuers worked around the clock, feeding the babies formula through little droppers to help them gain strength. Just 2 weeks after they were rescued, they doubled their weight and were often found snuggled together for comfort. Rescuers had no doubt the opossums would be able to be released to the wild as soon as they were ready. We chose this story this week to remind everyone that all animals are worth saving and giving a second chance. So if you enjoyed this story, we will link the article below for you to read and share.
This week, for our entertainment, we chose to watch the season 23 premiere of Dancing with the Stars, and we were very surprised by what we saw, but also a little intrigued by some of these new cast members and celebrities. We also saw some returning favorite pro dancers like Max and Dark. So, what did you guys think of this season, and how do you feel about what's to come?
Well, for me, I always enjoy season premieres because, with the previous season, you get so used to the stars and seeing them week after week. So it's always nice to start a new season and see fresh faces. And this season in particular has a lot of really well-known people, athletes, Olympians, singers, actors, whatever. So there's a lot of great people. My favorite definitely was Lori Hernandez, the Olympian of the Final Five. And I think that she's the youngest cast member that has been on the show. And I think she's just really fantastic, and I definitely think she can make it to the top. And I think she has a slight advantage, not saying that she's not going to have to work hard because, of course, gymnast and dancer muscles are different. So she's still going to have to work really hard on the technique. But I think she does have a slight advantage just because of how much she's trained her entire life for physical things like this. And I also really like Jana Kramer. I think that she has really, I think she has really good potential. I think it was a great performance, and I think she just has to like build up that confidence a little bit more. But I think she definitely has it. And another one that I really liked was James Hinchcliffe. He is a race car driver, and I think that he had really great technique. I think to me he really looked like a natural, so I liked his performance, and I think he definitely has the potential to go far. And for me, it was really interesting to see Vanilla Ice, because growing up in the 90s, it was just really cool to see, and the fact that he danced to Ice Ice Baby. But personally for me, I'm biased because Whitney is my favorite dancer, so I actually ended up watching her more than I watched him, but that was still fun to see.
I just feel like for week one, he probably should have held on to that song a little longer. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I feel like doing it week one was like, it was too much. Like, Alfonso held on to, the Carlton, he made us wait for that, and I felt like in the end, when he finally gave it to us, we were like, yes. Yeah. You know what I mean? But, I don't know. That's just how I felt. But, yeah, I feel the same way. Like, I don't know, I didn't really watch him that much. I watched Whitney more.
Yeah.
And then, I really enjoyed Jenna. I was, really, really excited for that performance because I'm a fan of hers to begin with. Not just her music, but her acting in general, from One Tree Hill. So I was so excited about that, and I'm even more excited to see next week's because I read recently that she's doing the theme song to One Tree Hill as her song for next week. So I'm so excited for that. Of course, there was that whole controversy with Ryan Lochte and his performance and the protesters and everything like that. Which I thought was really just, I guess, in the moment, I was more shocked than anything. I was like, what is going on right now? Did he just get, attacked? What's happening? Because we, as an audience at home, we really didn't know what happened because all we saw was Carrie Ann, and that was it. The camera was on Carrie Ann the entire time. And then, it showed them for, a second afterwards, and they were, shock on their faces. But we didn't, get to see exactly what happened until later on in the night when it was on the internet.
Right.
So, for us, we were just kind of what's going on right now, and for me, personally, it took away from Lori's performance afterwards, because I was still kind of what's going on? You know what I mean? I don't understand what just happened. Everybody knew something had happened and it had to do with Lochte, but no one knew exactly, what it was. So yeah, I was kind of upset about that because I was really looking forward to her performance all week. But again, I'm excited for the new batch of celebrities and to see, how the rest of the season unfolds. If I had to pick somebody that was going home, I'd probably say, I don't really know at this moment.
I'm thinking it could be Rick Perry, possibly.
Yeah. Or it could even be Vanilla Ice, just because,
maybe.
Me and you didn't even watch Vanilla Ice, we watched Whitney instead, so
Yeah.
That's kind of and there was zero, I felt like Len. Len was there was zero cha-cha in this performance, and I was like, yeah, I felt the same way, Len. I didn't even, that looked like a regular, hip-hop type of dance. It wasn't even, there was no cha-cha whatsoever, so I was kind of yeah, okay.
So I personally don't really know any of the dancers or stars, I guess. I've heard of Vanilla Ice because of that song. I kind of just knew who he was, but that's it. For their dance, I didn't exactly like it. I just liked their wardrobe. I thought the jackets were really cool. And my favorite dance was Lori and Val's. I thought that was really well done. And normally, I love dance, but, the show isn't my favorite, but I had my eyes locked to the screen, through this whole dance, and I was like, okay, this is really good. So, yeah, that says a lot. So I was a really big fan of Lori and Val. And then Tara and Sasha, I also like their dance as well. Not so much as like Lori and Dallas, but that was also really well done. And then for Ryan and Cheryl, I kind of just like, I don't know Ryan's like background, but I kind of felt bad for him because I felt like he lacked a lot of self-confidence, talking about like not being good enough and like being afraid, and that he'd make Cheryl feel like a failure because he's messing up or something. And I related to that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just felt really bad for him. And then seeing him out there, and like I thought the dance was really good, but then he lacked, like he just wasn't confident. And then after all that happened, and I was like, oh, and like there's a time and place for things to be addressed, and I like if that was me and someone just like attacked me like that, like out in open on television and stuff, like that's just not right in my opinion. Um, but yeah, those are the ones I'm going to touch on. But yeah, Lori and Val, I think yes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of people on this season that have good potential. I think Mary Lou Henner had good potential. Calvin Johnson, Maureen McCormick. Trying to think. Jake T. Austin was pretty good.
Oh, I know him.
Yes,
he's
the
on
one person Erika knows. Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yeah, the kid.
Right. Yeah. And then, Kenny Babyface Edmonds. He was pretty good, too, as well, I think. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't super impressed with Vanilla Ice or Rick Perry. And I wasn't really that impressed with Amber Rose, either. I think, I don't know, I just found it too sexual in the beginning, and I don't know.
See, I think with her, they made, like Max even pointed out, he was like, if you put your butt out even a little bit, it looks off. So, like, I'm not trying, I don't want to put down her body figure, or her, like, because I'm not trying to say that.
Yeah.
But I just feel like it's going to be a bit of a challenge for her to make sure that, you know, she has that right posture and it looks right, because if it doesn't look right, it's you know, it's not gonna feel right. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna look awkward, and we're gonna know that. So I just feel like, you know, she does have I think she could have like a serious potential, but at the same time, I'm kind of hesitant to like be like, yeah, she's definitely gonna, you know, make it all the way to the end, just because of that, you know, that reason, because she does have that to work that extra bit of step to make sure that her, you know, frame is always on point.
Right.
Some of the wardrobes, you said the word butt. Some of the wardrobes too are just a little. I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah, I've been saying
that wardrobes, except for that jacket. But I found that some just don't fit well on the people.
A lot of times the wardrobe, in dancing, wardrobe is made specifically to show your, you know, body type, because you want to see the movement of each step.
Yeah.
And if you can't see the person's body type, you can't see, you know, when they're moving their hips, or, you know, like, you know, when they're doing certain moves. So that's kind of why a lot of times, like, the costumes, especially for the women, are really, really like skimpy, and kind of like some of them don't always work, you know. I feel like for guys, they just always have to worry about the shirt coming off.
which sometimes they just take it off themselves. So
it's true. They're like, I'm just gonna take this off to get the extra points. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I think it's gonna be a good season, though. I'm interested to see, you know, who improves and how much they improve, and all of that as the weeks progress.
So, of course, we'll be back in next week's episode to discuss next Monday's episode itself. And we have a 2-night part next week where we will have an elimination on Tuesday night. So we will discuss that as well next week, both the elimination and the new episode, as well as give you our thoughts on who we think could possibly go home the following week. So, of course, as always, we welcome you guys back next week and hope you follow along with us.
So earlier this week, Charlotte found an article that listed 21 foods you've probably been eating your entire life and didn't know were vegan. So we decided to test this. We ran a poll on our Twitter asking if you guys knew about any of these vegan snacks, and most everyone either didn't know or didn't know all of them. Which snacks were you guys most surprised by?
Well, for me, some of the ones that were interesting were Duncan Hines buttercream frosting. Obviously, when you think of frosting or buttercream frosting specifically, you think it's going to have butter or like milk products. So that one was definitely interesting. Also, mushroom gravy, Campbell's mushroom gravy. That was definitely surprising because you'd think it would at least have some kind of animal product in it. And also Jell-O instant pudding. That's definitely interesting because Jell-O itself is not vegan, but the Jell-O brand instant pudding is vegan, so it's just interesting.
So for me, I found that the Pillsbury crescent rolls were actually very surprising to me because I know a lot of people think bread, so a lot of times, milk or, some type of egg goes into this process sometimes. So I kind of felt really surprised by that. So that was my pick out of these options.
Mine was the chocolate teddy bear graham cracker things, because I would eat them all the time, and because I'm like a chocolate lover. But you'd think like you'd put chocolate and dairy together, so I thought that would never be vegan, so kind of feel a little bit healthier eating that. So we will of course link the article down below, and be sure to leave us a comment letting us know which items on the list surprised you the most, or if there are any others you know of that should have been added.
This week's Song of the Week is Good Grief by the British indie pop band Bastille. The song was released in June of this year and is featured on their latest album, Wild World. The song quotes the 1985 film Weird Science and is fun and upbeat with a very eccentric video to match. So what did you guys think of this week's pick?
Well,
apparently I pick horrible songs, so...
No, I just can't. This is never a song I would download. It's not a song I would listen to. I'm sorry. No.
Charlotte and I listened to it together, and our faces were like,
you guys are mean.
Yeah, not a fan. Wouldn't download or listen to it. Probably would change the channel if it came on the radio. I'm gonna be quiet now.
Well, obviously I like it since I picked it. But, I mean, I love Bastille. I think they've had really great songs in the past, and it's the kind of music that I like, the indie alternative kind of music. And I like the message of it as well, especially the line where he says, "What's going to be left of the world if you're not in it?" And obviously he's talking romantically, but I like to think of it in a different way too, like, the power of somebody to make a difference. So even though that's probably not what he meant, I like to think of it that way. But I do enjoy this song. I think it's upbeat and just fun to listen to when I'm like doing my makeup or whatever. But on this show we have differences in opinions, but I hope that you guys enjoyed this week's pick. Make sure you listen to it, and we will put the download link below. And if you'd like to see the music video, we will link that as well. However, we must caution you that there is brief nudity. As always, leave your comments about this song and artist, as well as future song suggestions.
Okay, guys, that's our show. We hope you enjoyed this installment of Through the Screen. If you did, be sure to like down below and also subscribe to the channel. We post new videos every week, and we'd love for you to join us and tell your friends. Next week, we will be discussing a brand new topic, as well as celebrating the 50th episode of our web show. So thanks for watching, stay informed, and we'll see you next time.
Bye!